What's up, guys? Welcome back to the LOM podcast. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my main channel, Jay Lyons. It will be linked in the description. So thank you if you do that. And if not, enjoy this episode. Peace. No, this podcast is not over. It's not over. We're still going. We're still going strong. It's not over. Okay, we're back with another episode. Don't remember which, but it's something. And yeah, it's been a while. It feels like it's been a long time. Like for a second, I almost thought that maybe I did end the podcast. I was like, man, I haven't done this in a while. Did I end the podcast? Did I just forget that I ended the podcast? But no, I didn't. I was gonna do a podcast like I guess it was 2 weeks ago now. I was going to do a podcast episode, but it was like right before Thanksgiving. And I was like, I'm going to be with my family. Y'all are probably going to be with your family doing some Thanksgiving stuff. And so I was like, I'm not going to insert myself in your family, and be like, I know you guys are, playing cards with grandma, but you got to listen to my podcast. I didn't want to do that. So I was like, we'll skip the Thanksgiving one. We'll let people enjoy their time with their family. And I hope you did. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I had a great Thanksgiving. Not trying to flex or anything, but I had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you all, like I said, had a great Thanksgiving. Ate a lot of food. I sure did. The little food goblin in me was very happy about that. And, yeah, and then I don't know why did I not do one last week? I don't know. I really can't say, but I didn't do one last week. And so yeah, I guess that's the first time I've ever missed 2 episodes in a row, right? Guys, I'm sorry. But but we're back now, and so yeah, so how was y'all's Thanksgiving? What'd you guys do? Oh, right, that's right. This is recorded. This isn't live. You guys can't talk. Well, maybe I'll just tell you about mine, because mine was cool as fuck. So, the week of Thanksgiving, the weekend before Thanksgiving, actually, I went to South Bend. I posted about it, so you should have seen a photo on my Instagram of me in South Bend. I went to a football game, and I was hyped because it was going to be snow, it was going to be cold, busting out some winter fits, gotta flex the fashion a little bit, and so I was hyped. We got there, and there was only like a few times where we saw that it might snow, but it was like a 40% chance right here and there, but not a whole lot. And so we're like, okay, maybe it's probably not going to snow while we're there. Unfortunately, I kind of wanted to see snow. Like, even if it was just like a little bit, just like a little sprinkle, a little snowfall, something that gets you a little bit into the Christmas spirit, like you'll see it and you'll be like, oh, Christmas, like I kind of wanted something like that. But, it was only be like 40% on like a couple days. And so we're like, okay, it probably won't happen, whatever. I wasn't too upset, but there was snow on the ground while we were there, and it was fucking cold. Okay, it was extremely cold. On game day, me and my sister, we decided, we want a little Irish cream to go in our coffee, right? And so, obviously you can't walk into like a Einstein Bros Bagels and go like, yo, can you give me a coffee with some Baileys in it? So we had to get our own. And so we walked to the liquor store that was around campus, because of course there is. And it was cold as fuck walking there. And it wasn't even just temperature, it was the wind. Okay, the wind was howling. It was intense. Like, I'm walking, I'm like bundled up, bro. I've got like 5 jackets on, I've got like 3 layers of pants on. I've got snow boots. I've got gloves, I'm tricked out, I'm looking fresh, but I'm also, well, at least I thought I was built for utility. I was like, I've got a nice layer of protection from the cold, but the wind was like, no, we don't care about that protection. We're just going to go straight through all those layers and we're going to freeze you to your core. And so that's what they did. My face was numb. My ears were hurting, dude. I was freaking out. You know that scene from like Pirates of the Caribbean, the third one? It's like towards the beginning, right? And they're on like a boat. And I don't know if they're like in Antarctica or something like that, but there's some place where it's like freezing cold, right? There's ice, glaciers, all this shit. And like one of the dudes, when they're panning across all the people on the boat, when they're like freezing, there's like this one dude that's like barefoot and he's like rubbing his feet, trying to warm up his foot. And then when he tries to warm up his big toe, it like snaps off because his whole foot is frozen. He's got like frostbite or some shit. And his toe breaks off and he starts freaking out. And he's like trying to put the toe back. That's what I thought was going to happen to my ears. I was like, my ear is legit going to fall off, Like I was freaking out. So like I'm trying to like rub my ears, but at the same time I'm like, but maybe is what's going to make my ear break off because this dude tried to warm up his toe and it snapped off. So maybe I should just leave my ears alone no matter how much they hurt. I should just be like, I don't want to break you off, I want to keep my ears, But we made it. My ears are still both here, still perfectly fine. So that was good. The way back after we had bought the Irish cream, and no, we hadn't drank it yet, so this wasn't the case. But it was a lot better walking back from the liquor store back to campus, and I think it's probably because we had the wind to our back and it wasn't like to my face. But yeah, it was a lot better walking back. It was less cold walking back than it was walking to the liquor store. So anyway, we got our coffee. We got our Irish cream. Poured a little bit of that in the coffee. It was very nice. And then it was time for the game, And it hasn't snowed, but it's still pretty cold. Actually, no, I think like just before the game, it was like, it wasn't really snow. It was almost like misty out, It wasn't like full on rain and it wasn't snow, but it was like a misty in between kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that's called. But it was something. And so it was doing a little bit of that. And we get into the stadium, we get our seats, everything's cool, right? And this guy comes on the announcements, typically that happens in a football game. And so it's going like, hey, this is the rundown of events. Here's the weather report. And bro said, there's going to be no snow in the first half, but we may see a little bit of snow in the second half of the game. And so we're like, oh, okay, maybe something cool is going to happen. I'm thinking like still a little bit of drizzle, just a little Christmas spirit snow, a little Christmas snow dust, So I'm kind of hyped a little bit. I'm like, hey, it's going to be pretty, right? And so we're watching the game. Everything's cool. Notre Dame is kicking ass. They're playing Boston College. They shut them out. Felt really bad for the Bostonians. And, then like the sun came out. Like it's been overcast because that's what winter is. Like, it's just gray clouds, just overcast 24/7. But the sun did come out, right? And it's shining on the field. And I'm like, this is beautiful. It looks so pretty, And then they go for halftime, still really nice. And then time for the second half, right? And so the football players come out and like literally just as the second half began, it starts snowing. Right? And I'm not talking about just a little, okay? I'm not talking about this Christmas snow dust, okay? I'm talking literal blizzard. Like it started pouring snow. Like I'm not even kidding. I was sitting in the bleachers and I've got snow piling up on my shoulders, on my hood, just on my arms, just all around me. Like I'm getting snowed in, like cars when they're sitting on the street when a ton of snow comes down and then they're just like covered in snow. That was what was happening to me. I was a car, okay? I was getting covered in snow. And I'm like, this is wild. And there was so much snow that I couldn't see the Jumbotron, the screen where they show the game and other animations. I couldn't see the screen. I couldn't see the field. I couldn't see like 2 feet in front of me. Like there was just a shit ton of snow coming down. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? you know? Took a few selfies in the snow because I'm like, also like, this is kind of cool, you know, because literally I was just talking to my family beforehand because we're talking about the possibility of snow and all this stuff. And we're talking about how cool it would be. Well, I mean, I said it was going to be cool to go to like a Green Bay Packers game. Like, not because I like the Green Bay Packers, because I really don't give a shit about them, but just because they're usually like the place where they get a shit ton of snow, you know, and just it's snowing 24/7 there, you know, and you just get piled in. And I thought that'd be so cool to experience because I've never experienced snow like that before, let alone that type of snow at a football game. And so I'm like, dude, that'd be pretty cool, you know, just sit there and just get piled in. And then little did I know that was literally what was going to happen to me. Now, probably Green Bay is probably going to say, well, dude, it's nothing. That has nothing on Green Bay, okay? Green Bay would be 10 times worse. And you know what? I believe you, okay? I'm not gonna doubt you on that, okay? So I still want to experience that because it is going to be worse, and so I kind of want to experience what worse is, you know. But it was cool to get a little taste of Green Bay, you know. And also that was like also kind of weird that we were literally just talking about it that day, and then it happened, even though there was only like a 40% chance of snow, and there was no indication of like, oh, by the way, this is going to be 2 feet of snow. There was no indication of that. They're just like, hey, maybe a 40% chance of snow. You know, just whatever. You know, take that as you will. And then it's just like, boom, blizzard. But anyways, the field just got covered in snow. It was just white for the rest of the game. The blizzard slowed down a little bit, but it was still snowing a shit ton just for the rest of the game. But when it did end, the snow finally stopped. But then it came back a little bit later because, you know, we decided to hit up a bar for end of game festivities. Also, we were meeting some people there, and so while we were there at the bar, the blizzard pulled up again. You know, so that was fun driving back to the hotel with a literal blizzard going on, and the snowplows hadn't gotten there yet. So like literally, it was just white, and it's like, where the fuck is the road? Because it's just all white, you know. So we're using like the GPS to see like where the road is, you know. We gotta hope and pray that the GPS is at least a little bit up to date on where all the roads are, you know, because you know sometimes they be changing that. But anyways, yeah. So it was fun. Notre Dame won. Shut out the Bostonians. Snowed a shit ton. Winter fits were off the charts. And yeah, so it was a good weekend. And then come back to Florida, literally in Florida for one day. Then I flew back out to Tennessee because me and my family were going to Dollywood for Thanksgiving. You know, I haven't been there in forever. And yes, Dollywood is a real place. And if you're asking what is Dollywood, it's essentially Dolly Parton's theme park, and it's in Tennessee. And yes, it is real. I told my friend that I was going there, and she didn't believe me. She's like, there's no way that's real. You gotta send me some pics. So I sent her some pics to prove that this is a real place. And it is. You can look it up. But yeah, I hadn't been there in a long time. I don't know. I had to been like 5 or 6 last time I went. So it was nice to go back. I didn't remember anything from it though. You know, my family's like, oh, do you remember this from when you were a kid? I'm like, no. I don't recognize any of this. None of this looks familiar to me. I just remember the name. But it was nice. They decked the shit out of their park. They decked the shit out of the halls. Okay, they decked the motherfucking halls. Okay, they had decorations everywhere. So many more Christmas decorations than Disney or Universal. You know, which is surprising because you would think like Disney and Universal would have a shit ton of decorations because they're some of the most popular theme parks in the world, and they got a shit ton of money. So you'd think that they would, but you know, I'm not saying that they have shitty decorations. I'm not saying that, because like they do. I do get in the Christmas spirit when I go to like Universal during the Christmas season and seeing all their decorations and all that stuff. But it's just like when you go to Dollywood and see the decorations, and then you go back to Universal. I mean, it's like when you're driving through a neighborhood, right? And you got that one house that just has Christmas lights just going around like the edge of the roof, and then the neighbor has got like the Winter Wonderland shit. They got like 10,000 blow up machines. The entire house is covered in lights. They got a whole ass show going on, right? They even got like an animatronic Santa like going up and down in the chimney or some shit, you know? That's the difference I'm talking about. It's like, yes, that house with a little bit of Christmas lights is, you know, a little Christmassy and it's nice to look at, but then this guy, holy fuck, he loves Christmas. That's just kind of what it felt like. So it was nice walking through the park at night and seeing all the Christmas lights and all the decorations. And they got real Christmas trees. Okay, I don't know if they're always there, if they plant them specifically for Christmas, but they got real ass Christmas trees actually decorated all over the park, you know. And of course, they do get that one giant ass Christmas tree, just like all theme parks do. But yeah, it was nice. It got me into the Christmas spirit, even though it was for Thanksgiving. You know, we were there to celebrate Thanksgiving, but, you know, can't hurt to get a little side helping of Christmas, you know, get a little bit of Christmas spirit, considering that they are very close to each other. I mean, hell, we're hella close to Christmas now, you know? It's like today's what? Well, today's the 6th for me. Right? So it's like the 7th, right? It's the 7th. We got like, what, 18 days till Christmas? That's hella close. I'm just saying. It's kind of crazy that it is that close, actually. Weirdly, I haven't been listening to Christmas music a whole lot recently, which is which is weird because I was making it a point a while ago that I was listening to Christmas music and I wasn't upset about it. And like now it's like I'm just listening to normal music, like the normal music that I listen to, you know? And I'm like, shouldn't I be listening to Christmas music since we're in December, you know? It is the Christmas season. I don't know. I listen to it sometimes, but I haven't really listened to it as often as I did before. I guess maybe I just hit it a little too early, you know? And now I'm kind of Christmased out a little bit when it comes to the music, at least. You know, I don't know. But I do like seeing Christmas decorations. And so yeah, Dollywood was popping off with the decorations. They have this hotel there called the Dreammore Resort. And so that's where we stayed. And that place was decked the fuck out for Christmas, too. I mean, I was like, holy shit. You know, I thought Disney hotels popped off with the Christmas decorations at their hotels, you know, because I would I would make the journey to Disney's resorts during Christmas to see the Christmas decorations at night, you know, because I like seeing Christmas decorations. I like doing that. And, you know, nowadays, I don't know if they changed it, because I always felt like when I was a kid, they had a shit ton of decorations, and now it just kind of seems like that they throw up a Christmas tree in the lobby and they call it a day. And so, but I still enjoy going, obviously, and seeing the Christmas decorations, but it was just like a nice change of pace when I pull up to like this Dreammore Resort or whatever, and they've got like wreaths and poinsettias and Christmas trees and ribbons and all this shit. They're just hella decked out for Christmas, and I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what I like to see, you know? And so I'm kind of like, Disney, you should be taking pointers from this Dollywood, because I want to see that type of, you know, festive spirit, so to speak, in these Florida parks. Because, like I said, I feel like when I was a kid, they had a shit ton of decorations, and it kind of seems like in recent years, they're kind of like, whatever, tree. Merry Christmas, you know? I don't know. But yeah, it was fun. We went to Dollywood for a couple days, and then we did some other stuff for the week while we were up there. And you might have seen it. I stopped at the Titanic Museum because they have one there. And I am a fan of Titanic, you know, and not just the movie. I am a fan of the movie, but I've always been a fan of the ship itself. You know, and so I enjoy going to like these Titanic museums. I think there's one in Florida. Yeah, there's one in Florida that I've been to a couple times. But this one, I mean, the building, they like built the ship as like the building, you know? And I've never seen that. That's like, it's like the only Titanic museum that did that. And I'm like, that's hella smart. Why don't the other ones do this? But yeah, so I took some pictures in front of the ship because, you know, it was dope as hell. And went through the museum. Now, the one in Orlando, I don't know if I just breezed through it, but it's like we were only there for like an hour or something like that. And I thought I looked through everything. But like this motherfucking place, this place was huge. And like we spent like 3 hours in this place because there was just so much shit. It's like every time like you would enter a room and then there's just like another one and then another one and then another one and then another one. And after a while I'm like, okay, where the fuck is the exit? You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. I mean, I love Titanic, but I mean like, is there like a halftime in this tour or something like that where I can take a breather? You know, maybe we got a food court, you know? I don't know. I'm a little hungry. I've been here for 2 hours already, okay? But it was cool, you know? And, yeah, so we did that. We were planning on doing, like, the Titanic Museum, and then they had, like, this, mountain roller coaster. They have these in, places with mountains, obviously. The only one I really know about is that they have one in Jamaica that I want to go to. It's like a cruise destination, and they have this like mountain roller coaster. I'll call it like a bobsled, but it's like a roller coaster. And so they have a shit ton of these all over Tennessee because it's right there at the Smoky Mountains. So there's fucking mountains everywhere, which by the way, the mountains were fucking beautiful. I love mountains. Okay. So much better than Florida where it's just flat, you know, there's nothing. It's just, you know, so it was cool switching it up a little bit and going to Tennessee, and then you see like these mountains, and you know they were like in the distance, and you see all the. It was cool. Okay, I love mountains. But anyways, so yeah, we were planning on doing the Titanic Museum, and then they had like this mountain roller coaster, and we were planning on doing both of those before we, you know, got on our flight back home. But unfortunately, since we were in the Titanic Museum for like 3 hours, we couldn't do the roller coaster. But honestly, I'm not really complaining because I like Titanic. And so I enjoyed the museum, you know? It was cool. And they had like, they had a couple replicas of the Heart of the Ocean necklace that Rose wears in the movie. And they had one for like $5,000. And they had a couple less expensive ones for like $100, and then another one was like $200. Then they had one that I guess is supposed to be like an exact replica or something like that, the most authentic version you could get. It was like $250,000, and I was like, holy shit, dude. The only thing that pissed me off though was that like on some of these stops, because obviously they would incorporate some stuff from the movie as like references to the real life stuff, and on these. In those parts, they would have these plaques that would have like the script of that specific scene wherever they're talking about. So like the Heart of the Ocean, right? So they had like the script of when Cal brings Rose the necklace, and the script was all wrong. Like they weren't. It wasn't right, you know. And I don't know if you know, but I fucking memorize movie lines, and it's not something that it's not something that I study. It's just something that happens. You know, I watch a film and then I know the lines, you know? And so I know the scene that they're trying to enact, and I'm playing the scene in my head and hearing the lines, and I'm like, none of this is right, you know? And so it really made me mad. I wanted to go to like the owner of this museum and be like, look, man, I love your museum, but you gotta get the right quotes, okay? You gotta quote the movie correctly because this is irritating me. It's all wrong. Even like the order in which the characters say stuff, it'll be wrong or something like that. And I'm like, well, how do you you could just watch the movie, you know? You could you can watch the movie and watch the scene that you're trying to script out and get the exact lines from the movie and the order. Like, how do you fuck that up? You know, it's not like it's some secret movie that only, James Cameron has access to, and you have to be like, I only saw it one time in theaters and you can never watch it again because James Cameron keeps it under lock and key, and this is just what I remember. It's like, no, you can watch the movie. You even sell the movie in your shop. How do you fuck up the lines, you know? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so that was my Thanksgiving, and then I had to turn in my UCLA application. After I reviewed it a shit ton of times, making sure that it was correct, because, dude, I want to get into this place, you know? So let's hope for that dub, you know? Let's get that W. Let's get that acceptance letter, okay? I don't want this to turn into I mean, it probably won't, but like, you know, like that Axel Weber situation, was that the dude's name? Where like he was some like TikTok POV actor or something like that, and he applied to Juilliard, and then he didn't get in, and so all his millions of followers started like complaining to Juilliard, telling them to let him in, that he's a great and he's the perfect actor and blah blah, all this stuff, like kind of harassing Juilliard. And I'm like, do you really think that's gonna let them accept him or make them accept him? They're gonna be like, oh man, all these millions of TikTokers want this dude to get into our school, even though he didn't meet the criteria for our application. We should just let him in because TikTok wants it. Okay, they put a hashtag let Axel in Juilliard, so we have to oblige. You know, it's like, no, what the fuck? Honestly, I would think it would be a little bit embarrassing on Axel's part. He's like, guys, don't do that. Like, they made their decision. Like, I appreciate it, but like, don't. What are you doing? What are you doing? Now the next school I apply to, they're gonna be like, oh fuck, this guy, he's gonna get his millions of followers to harass us if we don't let him in, you know? So basically what I'm trying to say is that if I don't get into UCLA, I don't want anybody doing that. Being like, oh, let our boy Jay in. Oh, he loves movies. I don't want that. But yeah, I hope I get the dub. Let's get the dub, you know? Let's just get it. I think it would be nice. So yeah, I turned that in. I don't know when I'm going to receive a answer, cuz like I would think it would come in like March or April. But I saw this message. I don't know if it was like an email saying like thank you for applying, or if it was like after I applied, they gave me like this thank you message or something within the website. But I read somewhere that they're like, oh, you're going to receive an answer in the next couple months. And so I'm like, couple months? So you're talking like January? Because like this was turned in November. So I'm like, a couple months is January or February, which I would think is a little bit early. But hey, you know, pop off if you can get that answer out that quick. You know, so I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to receive a response. I'm just going to expect March, because that's typically when it is. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I had a lit Thanksgiving, guys. It was nice. So yeah, now I'm hyped for Christmas, you know? I unfortunately did not get to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I saw that it was on TV, but we were doing stuff on Thursday, and so I didn't get to sit and watch it. So I don't know where Meghan Trainor was for this parade, or if she even was. I don't know who was on the Sesame Street float. Maybe Elmo hit the folks. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't really feel too bad about missing it, though, you know, because I'm kind of like, it's kind of gone downhill a little bit recently, and so it is a tradition that I watch it, but you know, if I miss it, it's like whatever, you know. There's always next year. It will be on next year, you know. Elmo will be once again whipping, hitting the folks, you know. Maybe Big Bird will get some, you know, action, some dancing. Maybe Big Bird will start twerking. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I got. I just wanted to flex a little bit about my Thanksgiving break. And I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys had a fun, exciting time. Because, usually, like, around this time of year, you do hear some stories about people who are like, oh, I met up with my family and they were, like, passive-aggressive, or, like, some crazy-ass shit happened. Or, like, I ripped ass at the dinner and everyone laughed at me. Like, I farted on the dog and everyone booed me or something like that. You just hear some crazy ass stories about people getting together with their family. But I hope that was none of you guys. I hope you all had a pleasant Thanksgiving. I hope nobody farted on the dog, because that's fucked up. Why? That's so bad. Don't do that to the poor dog, okay? Don't rip one on the dog, okay? Anyways, hope you guys had a lot of sweet potato casserole. I almost forgot the name for a second. I don't know how that would have happened, but I almost did forget the name. But I hope you guys had a shit ton of sweet potato casserole. Greatest dish on the face of the planet. Hope you all found that out. For anyone who didn't know that, for anyone who doesn't eat sweet potato casserole, I hope you all tried it this year, and I hope it popped off. I hope your whole family was like, shit, you made this? Good for you, Steven. Like, we're having sweet potato casserole for Christmas. Like, we already got it planned. When I get together with my family, they're like, okay, you're bringing the sweet potato casserole? I'm like, yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. I'm bringing that sweet, sweet potato casserole. It's going to pop off, going to put a little crack. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, we already got a plan, baby. We're already thinking about when's the next time we're eating sweet potato casserole. We're already like, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. We're all ready. But yeah. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys are in the Christmas spirit. Our house is fucking decorated. It's dope as hell. We got the stockings, got the fucking tree. Okay? Got the ornaments. I got my alien ornament, from the movie Alien. You may be thinking, well, that's not Christmassy. Well, fuck you. Okay? I like Alien. It's going on the tree. Okay? Watching some Christmas movies. Hope you all are watching Christmas movies. Here are some Christmas recommendations for you. Okay? I'm not going to say Elf because that's so cliche. Okay? Everyone fucking says Elf. That's like everyone's favorite Christmas movie. And I'm not saying that Elf sucks, because I thoroughly enjoy Elf. But, it's just sort of like, do we have any other tastes? Does anybody else like any other Christmas movie? So I'm going to give you a few recommendations to maybe switch up your Christmas selection. So obviously the Santa Claus series, the trilogy. I have not seen the show yet, so I don't know if the show is good. But the trilogy, those are some good Christmas movies. I especially like the first one. That's my favorite of the three. Classic, the original, the first. Love it. Another good one, if you're into a little bit more classical, old movies, you could do It's a Wonderful Life, or you could do White Christmas. Those are a couple classic Christmas movies that you can watch. Some other good ones include Christmas with the Cranks, A Christmas Story. Christmas Story could be considered cliche, though, because there's channels that on Christmas Day they'll play that movie 24 hours. So like maybe is it a cliche to say A Christmas Story? Maybe. However, at the same time, I feel like not a lot of people know about that movie, which is weird. It's like there's literally channels like it's not even just one. Like there's like 2 or 3 on Christmas Day. They'll play that movie on repeat. How have you not heard of that movie yet? But I'm not even kidding. There are times where like I'll say, "Oh, have you guys seen A Christmas Story?" And they're like, "What the fuck is that?" It's like, really? But anyways, I'm not gonna say Home Alone. It is a good movie, but it's like Elf. It's like everyone's fucking favorite Christmas movie. So I'm not gonna recommend that this year. Okay, let's switch it up a little bit. But the best Christmas movie to watch is Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Best Christmas movie. Okay, watch that shit. Okay, it's funny. It's a comedy. It's fucking hilarious, dude. So yeah, those are my Christmas recommendations. Okay, we got some classics in there for you, classical film aficionados, and then we got some comedies, and then we got some just Christmas, like Christmas. Well, it's a Christmas Story comedy. I mean, it's got funny parts, but I don't know. Anyways, those are my recommendations. So watch all of them. Okay. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Whatever you guys are listening to this on, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and leave a review. All that really helps me out a lot. Follow me on social media at RealJLines and at Lion on Main on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Subscribe to my main channel. We are popping off on there. Okay, so subscribe to my main channel, J Lines. All these things will be linked in the description. And yeah, that's it. Merry Christmas, fuckers. I've been your host, J Lines. This is episode 80-something. Signing off. This is the last episode of the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Psych. Woo. No, it's not the last episode. We will be having another one next week, okay? So stay tuned. Anyways, yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm done. Thank you all for listening. Love ya. I don't know, man, do I?